travels to South Korea and completes the mission his father failed to finish. Both he and his sister will be released. Seeking to protect his only remaining family, Myung-hoon accepts the offer and undergoes 2 years of grueling physical and tactical training. After completing his training, Myung-hoon successfully infiltrates South Korea under the guise of a defector. To maintain his cover, he is adopted by a South Korean couple who are secretly North Korean sleeper agents. He is given the name D-ho and is enrolled in a local high school to blend in with the civilian population while waiting for further instructions. On his first day at the new school, D-ho introduces himself to his classmates. The students immediately begin laughing at him because his name sounds old-fashioned and dorky to them. His homeroom teacher also treats him with little regard, assigning him a seat in the back corner of the room. D-ho's primary goal is to remain as inconspicuous as possible to protect his mission. However, this becomes difficult almost immediately after school lets out for the day. A group of school bullies corners him in an attempt to haze the new student. The bullies are led by a student named Un. When they encounter D-ho, they are already in the middle of shaking down another student named Hien for protection money. The group shoves D-ho to test his reaction, but he remains silent and tries to ignore them to avoid revealing his combat training. Un interprets D-ho's silence as a sign of disrespect. He challenges D-ho to a fight on the school rooftop. Once they reach the roof, Un immediately punches D-ho in the face. D-ho begins to bleed from his mouth, but he deliberately chooses to endure the physical abuse rather than fighting back and exposing his true identity. Un is relentless and continues to insult D-ho while his friends join in. One of the bullies frisks D-ho and finds his wallet, which they hand over to Un. They are surprised to find a significant amount of cash inside the wallet of someone they perceive to be a dorky transfer student. While looking through the wallet, Un finds a photograph. The photo shows D-ho with his father and his younger sister. Un begins to mock. He receives a package from his North Korean organization. The package contains his next assignment. He is ordered to eliminate a North Korean traitor known as Big Dipper. Dipper is a highly skilled and ruthless operative who has been systematically assassinating other North Korean agents hiding in the South. D-ho immediately springs into action to fulfill his orders. Struggles with a deep sense of guilt over the act. After the encounter at the boxing gym, D-ho returns to school for the afternoon. Upon arriving, he finds his classmate Hien being targeted by the same group of bullies. They are throwing trash at her and demanding that she clean it up for them. D-ho decides to intervene and begins helping her pick up the mess. The bullies notice D-ho helping and increase their taunts. They call the two names and suggest that they are in a romantic relationship. D-ho ignores the insults and continues to clean in silence. This act of kindness makes a deep impression on Hien. Later that afternoon in class, D-ho is visibly distracted by the weight of the killing he committed earlier that day. The teacher notices him staring blankly and calls on him to answer a question. Hien tries to help him by whispering the answer, but D-ho answers correctly on his own. The teacher is surprised by his accuracy, and Hien finds herself further drawn to him. The peace does not last long. After school, Un and his group forcibly drag Hien into the science lab. He is not looking for a fight. Instead, he asks if anyone knows why Hien has been absent from school. Un is too intimidated to give a clear answer, so D-ho decides to seek permission from the homeroom teacher to go and look for her. When D-ho enters the teacher's office, he notices the man nursing a heavily bandaged hand from their previous encounter. The teacher is startled by D-ho's presence and quickly hides his injury under his sleeve. Perhaps out of lingering fear, the teacher grants D-ho permission to leave school without any hesitation. D-ho goes directly to the cafe where Hien worked her part-time job, but the staff informs him that she has recently quit. He begins to worry that he might not see her again. However, on his way home, he spots her in the street and realizes she is in the process of withdrawing from school entirely. Hien explains that she has found a new job but a crowd of people begins to gather. The bystanders start recording the scene with their phones, forcing D-ho to walk away to avoid blowing his cover. Unfortunately, Dipper survives the crash and catches a clear glimpse of D-ho's face. That night, Dipper leads his men directly to D-ho's undercover residence, where they find his sleeper agent parents. Dipper's men storm the building and begin an interrogation of the mother, demanding the location of a safe containing valuable diamonds. These diamonds are highly sought after by multiple factions to fuel political ambitions. After successfully obtaining the combination to the safe, Dipper kills the woman. Upstairs, D-ho's undercover father is listening to music through headphones and is unaware of the intrusion. When he finally encounters Dipper, he is also shot and killed. Dipper's men leave with the diamonds, but Dipper stays behind on the sofa to wait for D-ho to return. When D-ho arrives home and finds the bodies, he realizes the mission has become personal. He charges at Dipper, who flips a table to meet the attack. The two engage in a brutal fight, with Dipper throwing punches that shatter glass while D-ho expertly deflects every strike. D-ho is motivated by the memory of his sister waiting for him in North Korea, forcing D-ho to dodge the blade. D-ho uses a beer can to block the knife during the struggle. Eventually, D-ho wrestles the knife away and delivers 2 decisive blows that end Dipper's life. D-ho is left badly injured and overwhelmed with guilt because his presence led to the deaths of his undercover parents. Knowing the authorities will soon arrive, he cuts the gas line and places the bloody weapons in a microwave to destroy evidence. He escapes on his motorcycle just before the house explodes and is consumed by flames. The massive explosion attracts the immediate attention of the authorities, who quickly cordon off the scene to investigate. Despite the destruction of the house, the police managed to find clues in the debris, specifically a piece of a school uniform with D-ho's name on it. Using this evidence, the South Korean police successfully uncover his true identity as a North Korean agent. He collapses due to injuries he sustained. Under the woman's care and while hiding at her stall, D-ho manages to recover from his own wounds relatively quickly. Just as D-ho prepares to return home, a mysterious package arrives for him. Inside the package is his final mission. He must retrieve the stolen diamonds. His superiors promise him that if he completes this specific task, his reunion with his sister will be guaranteed. Unaware that it is another near-death setup. Following the intelligence he was provided, he arrives at the location of the diamond exchange. He uses a silenced pistol to quickly eliminate 2 guards, but his presence is eventually detected, causing the exchange to stop abruptly. D-ho is nowhere to be found. Suddenly, a grenade lands in the middle of the group and a deafening explosion follows. 2 of the leaders are killed instantly, and one of their subordinates grabs the briefcase of diamonds and runs into the factory ductwork to hide. D-ho, however, quickly spots him. Before heading toward his final extraction, D-ho buys fruit for his sister and a sweater for the elderly handler to thank her for her kindness. He then visits Hyun to say a final goodbye to her as a friend. Finally, D-ho arrives at the extraction point, where his contact tells him that he will be having breakfast in Pyongyang the following morning. D-ho believes he is finally going home, but his celebration is premature. In the next moment, the contact stabs him. D-ho manages to overpower his attacker despite the pain, and the contact reveals the harsh truth. North Korean agents are considered expendable pawns and are never intended to return home alive. D-ho realizes that his own father suffered the same fate and was assassinated on his way home after a successful mission. With no other choice, D-ho kills the contact. He then drags his wounded body back to the elderly woman's stall, but finds it surrounded by police as her cover has also been blown. The woman sees D-ho in the crowd and yells at him to run before she is arrested. Chase, but D-ho manages to escape. With nowhere else to turn, D-ho seeks refuge at Hyun's apartment, where she provides the care he needs to survive. While Hyun cares for D-ho, she understands that he only became an operative to protect his sister, and she decides to let him stay in her apartment to fully recover. The next day, while Hyun is grocery shopping, she is intercepted by the police chief. The chief is searching for D-ho and suspects that Hyun has information regarding his current location. Out of loyalty to her friend, Hyun feigns ignorance and refuses to help the police. Meanwhile, the North Korean leadership has brought D-ho's younger sister, Hae-in, to South Korea. D-ho receives a call from his superiors ordering him to exchange the diamonds for his sister's life. Realizing his sister is in grave danger, D-ho prepares to meet them the following morning. As a sense of unease, fearing for his safety, she decides to contact the police chief for assistance. D-ho arrives at the meeting point and finally sees his sister, unaware that the exchange is a trap intended to result in his death once the diamonds are handed over. Just as the situation reaches a critical point, a gunshot rings out as the police chief's team arrives. In the middle of the ensuing firefight, D-ho attempts to chase the vehicle carrying his sister but is unable to outrun it, fortunately, fulfilling his legacy by protecting the girl as if she were her own sibling.